Hello and welcome back to the Streamer Showdown YouTube channel. My name is Diz and today we'll be conducting another interview ahead of season 3. My guest today is, well, some people say he's Kevinitable. I don't even know whether I've said that right. Some people say that he is the Mr. Showdown himself. Some people say, and this is actually backed up, that he is Kevy 7 times. It is, of course, the 7-time Streamer Showdown champion. It is Lollujo, aka Kev. Kev, how are you, buddy?
I want you to try that name again. Kevitable, was that? I mean, I'm fairly sure that's not what people say.
So right, I've been trying to...
Kevinitable would be, that would make more sense. To be honest, I wouldn't bother. I'd try something else that's easier to say. That one works better written.
I'm not going to lie to you, right? I have tried for 3 days to work out that word.
Yeah.
I want you to know, I'm really glad that I didn't nail it on this day. Like, what the heck?
It's like the Kevin with the Roman numeral 7 in as well. It only works written down, that one.
Yeah,
I think the spoken word, it's just Kevy 7 times. Let's not be too formal, Diz. Kevy 7 times or sir. Either of them are fine.
Sir, back to your teacher days.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Kevin, thank you so much for doing this. I think one of the first questions I really want to ask you is, how does it feel to have won the Streamer Showdown 7 times?
That's a really difficult question to answer because I can't imagine what it would be like not having done that. It's because obviously I won the first one we ever did,
Yeah.
and then the second one we ever did. So it's kind of just, I've never known, and it makes me sound like I'm fully in character. I promise you, everyone, I'm not in character. It is weird though, because I've never really been in a situation where I haven't won it more times than everybody else. So it's been 3 years now. This is what the Showdown's like. I've won it more than everyone else. It's awesome. I'm really glad it's worked out that way. And hopefully that's a situation that never, ever, ever changes. I'd like to think I've got enough of a lead now that the only way anyone's ever going to catch me is if I just pack it in and then I won't care anymore. So it's great, but it's the way things have always been since the beginning of time.
I like that because I think after you it's Zealand and Clayton, isn't it, on 2? Are you worried that either of those two will catch you?
No, not even a little bit.
Wow.
Not even a little bit. Like I say, the only way they will is if I stop doing it, because I win. I think I've won. I don't even know how many I've played in. I think I've played in 11 or 12 and won 7 of them.
Yeah.
I win more than half of what I play in. So statistically, he says without having the statistics in front of him, but if I'm winning like 60% of the showdowns that I'm in, even if those two share all the others between them equally, they're still only winning 20% of the time. So if I'm winning 60% of the time and they're winning 20% of the time each, they're never catching me. The only time they ever catch me is if I stop. And I ain't stopping. Ben has to throw me out to make me stop.
Well, speaking of Ben, who is your biggest rival in the Streamer Showdown? And I think I know the answer.
I don't think you do, because I don't think you'll say Clates. I think Clates is the only one the only other one in it who's any good. The only one who knows what he's doing. It's no coincidence that Zealand was able to win this most recent one and Clates wasn't in it. I had a little bit of misfortune. One moment of bad luck opened the door for Zealand. If Clates had been in there, Clates would have been there ready to capitalize on that, and Zealand wouldn't have had his second one. Zealand has fluked his way to 2. Clates has done it the Kev way and done things properly. So I would say Clates is the biggest rival. Also, you've got Niran, who I've been calling out for over a year now. We've never been in a showdown together, and I would very much like to put him in his place. When you get these new folk come in and win, I do like to show them how things are supposed to be the next time they're in. When Manny came in and won first time round, next time he was in, I beat him 4-0 and he's never been back. And I feel like Niran needs a little bit of that. I've still got a wanted poster for him on the back of my door. And of course, the one you were expecting me to say, it's always fun beating Ben. But that's really because it's just fun to shut him up. But pre-beating him, it's like a metronome constantly going off in your ears to the point where the words don't even have meaning anymore. It's just constant constant. But then the moment you beat him, he shuts up, and it's brilliant. So that's what makes that fun.
So obviously last year there was this big thing, and I think it started on another podcast, but there was this big thing about Clayton's era or the Kevy era. Was that something that really intrigued you going forward, like that rivalry that was there, finally somebody stepping up based on your words about Clayton?
It was nice to see somebody who actually listened. I mean, I put videos out back in the FM20 versions of the Showdown telling people how to win it, and nobody listened. And then Clayton came along and he listened, and he won a couple of Showdowns that I wasn't in. Well done, Clayton. Congratulations. The whole Clayton era thing, though, never really bothered me, because ultimately, if you look at our win percentages, wins compared to Showdowns we've been in, like I say, I've won 60, 70% of the ones I've been in. I don't know the exact percentage. Clayton has won 2 out of the 11 or 12 that he's been in. It's not close to the same level. It took him a little while to figure himself out. But he's got a system now. He's got a system that will continue to work consistently, because it's my system. You need a well-balanced squad full of big, meaty boys who are quite quick. Forget about any other attribute. You just want big, strong, fast players. And 18 of them are all of a similar sort of quality, so they could be used interchangeably. Pair that with a decent tactic, which is his chat sort out for him, then it's a recipe for success, and that's why he's succeeded when he's been in it. So it'll be interesting to see if and when he's back, how he performs in the new version of the game. So obviously we get to see Clayton in FM22. Talk of one game wonder. He was nowhere in FM20, won a couple in FM21, and hasn't even shown up for FM22 yet. So I've done it consistently across 3 game cycles. That's an era. He was like a Clayton couple of minutes when I wasn't around.
I love that. Going forward, I want to speak about somebody else you mentioned, obviously Dr. Benjy. Now, there's a lot said about your relationship, or both your rivalry. Describe your relationship, though, like Kevin's relationship with Ben from your point of view.
We hate each other, can't stand each other. It's a weird one, because we get on quite well now. We get on well now. Forget quite well. We do get on well these days. But even now, we only really speak on network game evening and in the Showdown. It's not that we're like constantly texting back and forth all day, every day. We're not constantly chatting with each other, but we get on well when we work well together. I think that's the key thing. We have very good chemistry when we're working together, because we both know the game. And I'm not talking the Football Manager game. I'm talking about the wrestling style, dialing your personality up to 11 and just going nuts. And I think we've learned over the years where the line is with each other, of how far you can push the other one before it's too far. And we both push right up against that line constantly, because it's good entertainment. And I think we've figured it out over the years how to create really good content together. And I think that's a great thing. That's what you see in the Showdown. And then off all of that, behind the scenes, we get on better than we ever have. When I first started doing Football Manager, I think I spoke to him maybe once in 2 years when I first started out. I'd see him at events and then have no contact with him since between the events. Whereas now we have the Thursday night network game stuff. We have the Showdown. We have little bits here and there in between. And for someone like me who doesn't really do talking to people or have any real social skills when there's not a camera pointing at them, I probably talk to him more than anyone other than my immediate family and people I do my podcast with. He's probably in like the top 5 people that I talk to on a weekly basis in terms of quantity. But that's because of the way my personality is. That's still not a lot, because I don't really talk to people very much, because I'm a little nerd who sits in his cupboard, keeping himself to himself, not really doing social interaction things. And I think it took him a while to realize that that's just me. That's not me being weird towards him. That's just, I'm a bit weird in general. And I'm not necessarily going to be chatting every day via text or on Discord or any of that kind of things. It's not the way I am. And I think we've found a way to build a relationship that works really well based on my weirdness, which is impressive because not many people manage to make it that far past my layer of weird.
But that's really nice to hear, though, that the positive relationship that you do have. And obviously, I personally see.
Just to clarify, I hate him and he hates me. Just to clarify, and in case I wasn't clear enough, we do hate each other.
No, excellent. Good to hear. And that hate probably inspires you when you're 3-0 down in the first leg and then you end up beating him 4-3. At the end of that, you said it was better than winning any showdown. Do you want to comment more on that?
It would, no, as a moment, it was better because, I mean, winning the showdown, there've been a couple, I guess, that have gone to penalty shootouts. There was even one where it was a penalty shootout against him. And so it's tense right up until the final moment. And then you get that release of tension and you celebrate, and that's nice. The majority of them, though, it's all over by the end of the first leg or by half time, and it's kind of, you have the rest of the match to kind of, you're on the come down. You don't really, because it's people I might be less familiar with playing, I don't know how far I can push them and gloat at them before I come across as an absolute jerk. So I'm kind of trying to temper it a little bit and not going too wild. But at the same, and it doesn't have that immediate explosion of excitement. Whereas it was just not just the fact that I was 3-0 down and went on to win, it was the shape of how it happened. So 3-0 down, and he is just constant. It was the most obnoxious he's ever been. It was phenomenal. But then second leg starts, and I've just deadpanned him the whole time. I was like, yeah, I'm fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. I firmly believe it'll be fine. Obviously, no idea it's going to be fine, but I'm hoping it's going to be fine. I did my magic sponge. It worked wonders. I think we were 2-0 up in the second leg inside the first 5 minutes. So from that moment on, the whole of that second leg it's going to happen. And I believe from the moment that second goal, probably from the moment the first goal went in after like a minute and a half, this is happening now. And not only did I believe it, you could tell by the way he was changing, he knew it was coming as well. And we both knew what was going to happen. And we both knew it was probably going to be impossible to stop. The third goes in, and I think the third went in before half time. So it's 3-3. He's thrown it all away with 45 minutes to go. And then the second half was big chances after big chances for both of us. And it could have gone either way. But then for the final goal to go in I think the 87th minute to complete the turnaround, it was just the perfect combination of the shape of the tie overall, the moment happening right at the end. So you have that just complete explosion of excitement, and the fact that it was Ben who had given it to me for half an hour at this point. So I knew that I could do whatever I want and it wouldn't be taking it too far. I took a picture of him holding up a bottle for my little selfie, and there was no line for me to cross there because whatever I did wouldn't be as far as he'd already gone in the lead up to it. So it just made the whole thing a perfect storm. And just for a moment of pure enjoyment, it was more fun than winning any of the showdowns. Obviously, I like the fact I've won lots of showdowns, and I don't think I actually would swap. I think I said to Matt on the Lowdown afterwards, I'd swap all 7 of them for that moment. I don't think I would. I think I like the fact I've won 7, but as a pure moment, that was the moment, the best moment in a showdown for me, because it was just perfectly put together. It was people argue about whether or not Football Manager is scripted and whether it like predetermines certain things to make excitement and all that and tension and that kind of thing. I don't think it is. I think it is random number generator and luck. But sometimes, goodness me, does it feel scripted? And it felt scripted there because it couldn't have gone any more perfectly from a storytelling perspective. It was glorious.
Well, speaking of showdowns now and what you're going to be doing in the next one. So this is the first time you will be on the Lowdown. What will you bring to the Lowdown?
Credibility.
Whoa.
I mean, how can you have a bunch of people there talking about what it takes to win a showdown who haven't?
Wow.
It's like, imagine match of the day, rather than having successful former footballers on there. They just add the milkman. I mean, do you care what the milkman thinks about what Jurgen Klopp's just done? Of course you don't. You care about what these successful professionals who've been there and done that think. So, yeah, I bring a little bit of credibility amongst a sea of milkmen.
I'm on that panel, and yeah,
it's
going to be comments. A long 3 days. Well, no, thank you very much. We look forward to spending some time with you. Obviously, the 3 days you're going to be on the Lowdown. Is there anything you're nervous about doing the Lowdown for the first time?
Not at all. I'm really looking forward to the fact that I can just enjoy a Showdown weekend. Not fully in spectator mode. Obviously, I'll be contributing my words of wisdom, but I'm quite looking forward to the opportunity to show people, because I think there's been a number of people who've said over the years that they don't think I could do the Lowdown for whatever reason. I'm really looking forward to proving that, yeah, I'm going to do it and I'm going to be great at it, because I am going to be great at it. But I'm just looking forward to going into a Showdown weekend with no pressure, because when you have won it gazillion times, it is different to going in. People expect me to win. I can't get knocked out in the quarterfinal and not get mocked for it. Whereas someone who's never won it can get knocked out. It's like, oh yeah, he did all right, good effort. Whereas for me, if I'm knocked out, it's a story and I have to answer a bunch of questions about why I was knocked out and where it all went wrong. And can you still draft, Kev? Yeah, of course I can. Of course I can draft. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to going into it with no pressure, trying something a little bit different, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. I want to press that little goal button that you all get to press. That looks fun. I like the idea of pressing a button. I'm looking forward to going to Matt's house more than anything. I'm gonna sit there next to Matt. I assume you all sit in Matt's living room and you just sit in your little box. I'm looking forward to that. I hope he puts on a good bunch of catering for us.
He's told me he's moving house that weekend. So whilst
I'll host it then. If he's not available, I'll host. It'll be fine.
No, Lollujo and the milkmen.
It's going to be amazing.
Lollujo and the milkmen. We're not ready for that content.
That's the name of my band when I was at school.
I was going to say. Well, thank you very much, Kev. I really appreciate you taking the time out today. And that's it, viewers. The action begins on the 23rd of March, Wednesday the 23rd of March, where we have draft night. And then on the weekend of the 26th and the 27th of March, over at FM Streamer Showdown on Twitch, we have the league and the knockouts. Make sure you're there. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.